The Indy Racing League saw some very interesting characters in the first few seasons of the series. I've told the stories of these drivers in the past, but there's still a lot of material from this era of IndyCar racing. The driver we'll be discussing today had a career with pretty clear similarities with one of the best drivers in IndyCar at the time. However, this driver had a far less memorable career. In this episode of All IndyCar, we talk about Stevie Reeves. Welcome back to All IndyCar, the motorsports history show that's now going to be on a Friday because Thursday videos do terribly. Stevie Reeves was born on May 16, 1967 in Speedway, Indiana. His first documented starts in racing came in 1985 when Stevie raced in USAC sprint cars. He wouldn't have any documented wins until 1987 when he won a race in the USAC midget season. For some reason, Driver Database doesn't list any series that Stevie raced in from the end of 87 to the start of 1990, but either way, he would make a big impression in the upcoming decade. In 1991, he would win 4 races in the USAC sprint car season on his way to a runner-up finish in the championship. Fun fact, some of his competitors in this series were 2 Indiana kids named Jeff Gorin and Tony Stewart. He also finished 9th this year at the 5th annual Chili Bowl Nationals. 1992 would be even better with Stevie winning the USAC Midget Championship, something he would repeat the next year. In 1993, he would attempt his first ever NASCAR Busch Series race at Rockingham. Basically nothing is known about this entry. Not the car number, manufacturer, sponsor, or even the car owner are known. He failed to qualify with this entry at the 1993 AC Delco 200. Stevie didn't have the money to go into the American Racing Series in 1994, so instead of going to IndyCar, he went to NASCAR. Sound familiar? 1994 saw Stevie Reeves attempt 27 Busch Series races for Thomas Racing. 7 DNQs, 4 DNFs, and a best finish of 13th would follow in a year that could be best described as poor. 1995 wouldn't be any better as this year was plagued with DNFs. He would have a great performance at Race 3 in Richmond, where Stevie Reeves got his best ever NASCAR Busch Series finish, that being 6th. 1996 would be a vital year, as although it was a status quo in NASCAR, this year was the first of the Indy Racing League, a new series that would be Stevie's ticket into IndyCar. However, he would have to wait for a few years for an opportunity to come. 1997 was his best year in the Busch Series as he finished 20th in the championship. After this year, he left stock cars and would return to USAC and make his IRL debut at Charlotte. However, his IndyCar career was set to be brief and unfortunate. His debut and only start in 98 was with Pragan Racing and ended after 184 laps with a failed CV joint. He didn't start a race in 1999, but he would return to the series for 3 races at the end of 2000. These starts would be with Logan Racing, and he would never reach the finish line. At Atlanta and Texas, the engine blew, and in Kentucky, he would once again have a CV joint fail on him. And that was it. 2 USAC championships and a bunch of wins gave him the chance to only race 4 times. After 2000, Stevie retired as a driver, but would stay in racing as a spotter. This career has been very fruitful for him, as he was a spotter for Jimmy Johnson for his 2nd and 3rd championships. At the moment, he's spotting for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Cup Series and Xfinity Series. Stevie Reeves was a damn good driver in USAC, but when it comes to stock cars, he was there, I guess. He didn't have good equipment, so it's hard to judge his skills. One thing I'm fairly confident about is that he could have been an IndyCar race winner if he had the right car and was in the series from day one. But giving a bunch of what-ifs won't get us anywhere, so what we have to do is look at the facts. We have to look at what actually happened, and what actually happened was a young kid who grew up in the shadow of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, winning championships in USAC and racing in IndyCar. He didn't get the chance he deserved in IndyCar, but that by no means classes Stevie Reeves as a racing bust.